So for those of you who we haven't met before, my name is Elham Delatabadi. I'm a faculty at School of Health Policy and Management, Faculty of Health. I'm also running the Insight for Health Research Lab. My main area of interest is machine learning for health, how we can build AI solutions for various healthcare problems. This is what I do on a daily basis. So this course, the main focus of this course in the winter section is about data-driven research design principles for healthcare. So basically it's all about understanding the research cycle, problem framing, and hypothesis generation. So you started this course in the fall. So throughout the fall term, you learned about the design principles of research, data collection, etc. But in this section of the course, you have to come up with a solution for a problem. Basically, you are supposed to implement the solution, to execute the solution for a problem of interest related to health informatics. So why this course? There are many challenges around our healthcare, and basically we would like to address real world healthcare problems through data-driven approaches. So basically data-driven is the main key for the winter section of this course. So you will be equipped with the essential skills in data handling and statistical analysis. We are leveraging Canadian healthcare data to create impactful and regionally relevant solutions. And you will be prepared to frame research questions and hypotheses rooted in evidence-based methodology. Basically, there's a problem, and you will learn how to frame this problem as a data-driven problem and come up with a hypothesis and how to implement solutions, being hands-on around this problem. So understanding the complete research cycle all the way from ideation to problem to solution execution, develop problem framing and hypothesis generation skills. You explore and clean tabular data, apply statistical and data visualization techniques, design and execute a small-scale research project. So this course is all about basically building this pipeline from data into insight. So you might have read a lot, during your the first 3 years of your honors degree about so what health informatics is, or different solutions around it. But in this course, we want to build the solutions together. So throughout the course, each week and each session, I walk you through starting from importing the data into building some knowledge from data. Again, we use data-driven approaches. You're limited to use tabular data. So we do our best to use Canadian data, but there are cases, for example, electronic medical records, that we don't have access to any Canadian data, but there are some US and European medical records available to us. So in those cases, you can use non-Canadian data. So that's something that we can discuss. And so the structure of the course is very blended. We have weekly in-person sessions and lectures. Basically, the lecture materials will be recorded and shared with you a week in advance, so you can get prepared. But we want to make use of the time, the in-person time, more as group hands-on activities and discussions. Basically, I'm here to help you if you face any challenges with importing the data, building models, etc. So I highly encourage you to watch the recordings and everything in advance and come to the class prepared. There are also tutorials for hands-on stuff um, mainly on SPSS. We have recorded tutorials, but in case you want to use Python or R, you can do so. I provide the scripts to you. So kind of pretty much like I provide the starter codes, and it's your job to go and import them and import the data and do the analysis. But pretty much like do all these stuff, watch the recordings and everything in advance, and then come to the class after watching the recording, so we can make use of this time, like the teams can sit together and you can start working on your project, your problem, and I'm here to help you. So class attendance is fully optional. It's not mandatory. You won't be measured based on that. It's more like an opportunity for you just kind of do hands-on activities together. So again, these are some of the stuff that I already discussed. I believe that you've all taken Tri-Council course on research ethics. Is there anyone who hasn't taken, who doesn't have the certificate? Oh, it's mandatory. You have to. You didn't take this course in the fall?
I took it, I just never got around to it, but I will do it this week.
You haven't, but you had to. Am I?
I understood that it was optional, but I will.
Oh, it was optional. So for this section of the courses is mandatory. So like if you haven't done it yet, please do so. Okay, it's important. And so in terms of the tools, we will have a separate discussion on that. Again, like there are two pieces of materials that will be provided to you. One piece is like lectures around fundamental concepts, like how to do what is correlation, if there is a problem, how to frame it as a statistical problem, like all those things, like those are the lectures. Also, like I provide some starter codes or some recorded videos on hands-on activities, like in case you're using SPSS, how to import the data, how to do analysis, how to do visualization. Or for Python and R, I provide like some scripts to you. So these are like the prepared or pre-recorded asynchronous materials that I'll provide for you. Okay, evaluation. So you will be evaluated based on individual submissions and group submissions. So there are 2 quizzes, and these 2 quizzes will be done during the class time, and it's based on like the lecture materials. So the quizzes will be done individually, but there's also a bigger piece as a deliverable for this section of the course, which is like the project. So it's a group project. Up to 16 members can form a team, and it's highly recommended that you do this as a group rather than individually, because like collaboration and communication and team formation is part of the learning activities here. And there are 3 deliverables for this project. Like there is a teamwork plan, which is mainly like, okay, who the team members are, what is the problem that you want to solve. Pretty much like I want to make sure that we are on track and we hit the milestones on time. So it's more like just to make sure that you landed on a problem and you have formed the teams. Then there is an interim project report, which is mainly around data visualization. So what is the data that you want to use, like what fields in the data, visualizing the data, handling the missing values, etc. And the last piece, and the most important piece, is the final project, that we put everything together, like you write a report from the end-to-end pipeline and work that you've done. And there's a template for all of this. For the teamwork plan, the template is already available on eClass, but the other 2 pieces I'll provide, I make them available to you soon. And there is another piece, like because the project is done in a group, so there are cases that, like, let's say that there is a team of five individuals, three of them are like contributing heavily to the project and two don't. In so that's why, like, cases like this, a conflict happens, and in these cases, why what I ask you to do is like to fill out this peer evaluation form, pretty much like you kind of you can raise your concern here and say like, okay, my group mate didn't contribute well and the contribution was 10%. So in cases like this, I ask every member of the team to fill out this form, and then we can have a follow-up meeting just to discuss this in more details, and how it might impact the grades and marks at the end. But again, like, if you're happy and everybody is contributing equally, you don't have to do this. Like, this is just in case there is a conflict and you're not happy with the team members' contribution.
I just want to clarify, going back to using Python.
I'll get to that point. So hold on to that.
Okay.
Hold on to that. Yeah. Okay. So on eClass, if you open eClass, like, you see a link that takes you to a Google Sheet that you can go and add your names, your team members, and basically, like, this is how you can form your teams. And there's an option that if you still have a spot, if you are willing to take more members or no, please fill out that column as well, because some of you are like, just you're still an individual looking for team members, so kind of which teams are still taking members, so you can reach out to them.